Hello everyone! Often the windshield acquires by no means a respectable appearance, even on a relatively fresh car. The fact is that the front windshield usually comes with heating and does not differ in mechanical resistance. On some specimens it is wiped off by the wipers in just a couple of years. It is more profitable to purchase an order of magnitude cheaper non-original, which will last much longer. Also check how all doors open and close. Their mechanism breaks down when you sharply pull the handle in the cold. It happens that the electronics are weird and the sachets begin to live their own lives. And it really becomes dangerous when the door suddenly opens in motion. In general, electronic gadgets Volvo XC90 is stuffed under the throat, and all this electronic fraternity may require some attention. Well, how not to respond to the enraged climate control, which began to alternate portions of hot and cold air, and in the heat suddenly turns on the stove at full power. It is also worth mentioning the alarm glitches, which, when set to the security mode, can open all windows or unlock door locks. Do not be surprised if any part of it dies on the screen of the multimedia system, although dealers successfully treat this type of disease under warranty or simply transplant healthy organs if the repair does not help. Engines also need diagnostics. And special attention should be paid to gasoline force, which are often confused with Ford units of similar volume and power, but they were by no means distinguished by outstanding reliability. On the XC90, engines of the own design of the Drive E series were installed, 2-liter 4 with a capacity of 249 and 320 horses. In fact, this is the same engine with turbocharging and direct fuel injection, only with a different degree of forcing and firmware of the electronic control unit. True, the more powerful one, in addition to the turbine, is also equipped with a drive supercharger powered by a crankshaft. It is more capricious to the quality of fuel and oil, as well as to maintenance. In addition, both motors comply with Euro 6 environmental standards. Therefore, working on now gasoline, they suffer from valve coking. Surprisingly, even turbochargers in Russian conditions live for a long time. At least some crossovers manage to run more than 150,000 kilometers without any special problems. However, during this time there were cases of rupture of turbine nozzles. Engines are also at risk for oxygen and mass air flow sensors, ignition calls and a fuel pump, a throttle valve block and the EGR exhaust gas return system that needs periodic cleaning. Therefore, XC90 owners much more often prefer diesel versions, which accounts for approximately 85% of the cars on the market. 2-liter diesel engines are quite reliable, provided they are filled with high-quality fuel and regularly serviced. There are almost no complaints about the engines, but again, we repeat about proven gas station with good diesel fuel and recommended oil changes at least 10,000 kilometers. And also ask the seller about forcing the engine. The owners of the XC90 quite often turn to diesel chipping specialists. Note that after 180,000 kilometers, the fuel priming pump and the common rail ramp can be capricious. On diesel engines, as well as on gasoline engines, the EGR valve is periodically contaminated. If you do not want to spend money on new expensive parts, clean the valve and its pipe from dirt and soot every 60,000 to 80,000 kilometers. In megacities, the particulate filter clogs up quite quickly, which is indicated by a control signal on the dashboard. In this case, you need to drive at medium speeds for about a couple of hours on a suburban highway. In this mode, the filter clogged with combustion products is self-cleaning. Periodic maintenance will also be required for the 8-speed automatic. There are simply no other gearboxes for the Volvo S80 on the Russian market. But the unit has practically no congenital source. It is only necessary every 60 to 80,000 kilometers to update the oil in the box. After 150,000 kilometers, pay attention to the wheel drives. If during acceleration or at speed strong ahead, urgently go to the servos to replace the external CV joints. If during acceleration or at speed strong vibrations are felt, and when starting off with the wheels completely turned out, a crack is heard, urgently go to the servos to replace the external CV joints. At the same time, check the condition of the internal grenade. By this run, it usually states at the end of each resource. You can also buy a non-original part. There are a lot of offers on the market, but it is better to find the original. As experience shows, the branded grenade nurses much longer than the non-original one. The all-wheel drive system with Haldex electromagnetic clutch is time-tested and very reliable. However, timely maintenance will extend the life of the gearboxes, transfer case and the clutch itself. Units are subject to lubrication every 60,000 to 80,000 kilometers. After a run of 150,000 kilometers, the drive shaft cruises and the outboard bearing will remind of themselves. Approximately the same period can be called critical for the chassis. From this run, the first significant replacement in the independent suspensions will begin when the front levers and shock absorbers are asked to rest. This we mean that with a balanced approach, you can save a lot when repairing the chassis. But it is better not to repair the steering cardan, but to change it to a new and original one. Such a part has a much higher resource. Therefore, you can safely take a high-quality non-original of the famous brand, with most owners do. In general, the suspension of the XC90 is very strong, and repair cost can be significantly reduced due to non-original parts and replacement in a specialized service. Admittedly, a used Volvo XC90 is a very good second-hand option. The car turned out to be quite reliable, and the optimal version is modifications with a trouble-free diesel 4. In addition, the crossover after installing is already practically devoid of congenital problems. If you ever had such a model, share information about what and how it breaks in the comments.